In this video, we'll be learning how to optimize your product listing or sales copy with neuromarketing using 4 simple principles to increase your sales.
I just wanted to let you know that this video isn't going to be some long and boring lesson. It's a short and simple guide. I recommend grabbing a pen and paper to take notes, or better yet, subscribe to this channel so you can easily watch this video again. Let's get started.
Advertising has come a long way from the early days where merchants would nail paper messages onto wooden posts to the modern day techniques of neuromarketing. So what exactly is neuromarketing, you ask? Well, it's an approach to advertising which combines 2 scientific disciplines. The first one is neuroscience, the second, marketing. To put it simply, it's a psychological approach to sales. Here's a brief history of how advertising and neuromarketing was developed. Back in the early 20th century, advertising was simply seen as a means to communicate the features of a product to customers. It was widely believed at the time that consumers based their purchasing decisions on facts and information. At the time, consumers were regarded as rational subjects who made rational decisions. Then came along Edward Bernays, a hotshot marketer who would revolutionize marketing. It's worth mentioning that Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology. To revolutionize marketing, Bernays would draw upon many of Freud's ideas and findings. Primarily, Bernays and Freud didn't see people as rational subjects who made rational decisions. Quite the contrary. Bernays and Freud believed that people were fundamentally irrational, so you had to appeal to them on an emotional and subconscious level. Bernays and Freud's insights would later lay the groundwork for modern-day advertising and, consequently, neuromarketing. Bernays was the one who came up with the idea to pay celebrities to use products and to use culture and events as a means to advertise products. Common marketing practices you see today. The goal of neuromarketing is to identify elements, topics, and narratives which evoke strong emotional and subconscious responses from consumers to craft more persuasive ads. Neuroscientists do this by studying the physical responses of focus group subjects to stimuli. They monitor physical responses such as brain activity, heart rate, breathing, and eye movement. For the sake of being practical with crafting an online product description, we won't be dealing with any complicated science or extensive research studies which can take years and a fortune to undertake. Instead, we'll deal with a simple but just as effective version of neuromarketing. We can optimize your sales copy with neuromarketing using 4 simple principles. They are: identify the consumer's needs or problems, demonstrate the value of your product as a solution to their needs or problems, evoke an emotional reaction, and evoke a subconscious primal response. Principle number 1. Identify the consumer's needs or problems. It's important to identify the consumer's needs or problems as a first step because what you're essentially doing is you're finding out what their motive is for buying your product. It's all about putting yourself in the mind of the consumer. When consumers look for products, they do so in an attempt to fill a need or to solve a problem. An example of a need can include the need to be beautiful or the craving for delicious food. An example of a problem can include cooling a hot house or the problem of gingivitis. Principle number 2. Demonstrate the value of your product as a solution to their needs or problems. You'll demonstrate the value of your product as a solution by highlighting its features and benefits and explaining how those features and benefits will solve the customer's needs or problems. For example, you can explain how the aloe vera in your hair conditioner will improve the silkiness of one's hair to become more beautiful. Principle number 3. Evoke an emotional reaction. Nothing is more boring and uninteresting than a product description that's only filled with facts and information. That's it. To make your product listing more interesting and impactful, you'll need to add some emotion in your sales copy and product photography. Emotion comes in many forms, such as joy, sadness, fear, excitement, or curiosity. Your task is to figure out which emotions are the most appropriate and best suited to sell your product. For example, the emotions of excitement and joy would be the most appropriate and best suited to sell children's toys. The emotions of sadness or anger would not be appropriate. Principle number 4. Evoke a subconscious primal response. Neuroscience has made many groundbreaking discoveries and insights into the structure and function of the human brain. The most groundbreaking insight in regards to advertising is how decision-making is processed. Neuroscience has discovered that we actually have 3 brains that work together to make a decision. We have the reptilian brain, which is the oldest part of the brain in evolutionary terms. This is the part of the brain that can be found in all animals, including reptiles. According to neuroscientist Paul MacLean, this part of the brain is responsible for our subconscious primal needs, which ensures our survival and that of our species. Then we have the limbic brain, which can be found in all mammals. This part of the brain is responsible for directing our emotions, mostly subconsciously. This is where our value judgment originates, such as the perception of whether a product is good or bad. Then, we have the neocortex, which can only be found in humans and is the newest part of the brain. This is the part of the brain that's responsible for complex thinking, analyzing, logic, creativity, and math. As humans, we like to think of ourselves as an evolved species that thinks rationally and makes decisions logically. Neuroscience shows otherwise. Neuroscience shows that we actually make decisions based on the fulfillment of primal needs first, place an emotional value judgment second, and then justify our decisions rationally last. World-renowned advertising consultant Drew Eric Whitman has identified 8 primal needs which are biologically hardwired into every person. He refers to them as the Life Force 8. They are survival and enjoyment of life, enjoyment of food and beverages, protection from danger or illness, attracting a mate, comfortable living conditions, to be superior or to gain an advantage, care and protection of loved ones, and social acceptance or approval. These needs are what people subconsciously seek out for and are the primary influencers of what they decide to buy. By incorporating any one of these primal needs into your sales copy, you'll be appealing to the reptilian brain and subconsciously influencing your customer's purchasing decision. It's important to note that neuromarketing isn't some new secret. Quite the contrary, it's been around for years. Many popular brand names such as Apple, Nike, or Mercedes-Benz regularly use neuromarketing strategies in their ads. Let's briefly watch this Mercedes-Benz commercial, which was studied by Neuromarketing Labs as an example.
Sorry. Sorry.
Let's break down the neuromarketing approach of this commercial. In this commercial, Mercedes-Benz identified the need of car consumers to have a safe driving vehicle, which was demonstrated by having the angel of death right in the passenger seat. They demonstrated the value of the car by highlighting its collision avoidance system. Throughout the commercial, the narrative of the ad incorporated emotional elements which were surprise and fear from a potential collision, along with the feeling of humor and relief once the collision was avoided. The ad also incorporated 2 primal needs. The first primal need is the need for social status, which is highlighted by classical music and a well-groomed model driving a prestigious car. The second primal need is the need for protection against danger, which is highlighted by the narrative of cheating death. The main lesson you should take away from this analysis is that it's not enough to simply present the facts and information of your product. You must also appeal to customers on an emotional and subconscious level to optimize your sales copy. With neuromarketing, car commercials are transformed from a fact-focused approach of "come buy our car" has a top speed of 350 kilometers an hour and runs on 8.9 liters of gas per 100 kilometers, to a more persuasive, emotional, and primal approach of "come buy our car. It's a prestigious car that can cheat death." If I were to take a product listing for a power bank as an example, the description would be transformed from "come buy our power bank. It has a 10,000 mAh capacity battery and 2 USB ports" to "come buy our power bank. It has a 10,000 mAh capacity battery to extend the battery life of your phone, so you can capture more exciting memories to show off to your friends." By appealing to all 3 parts of the brain instead of just one, your ad will become more persuasive and impactful, which in turn will drastically improve your sales. And this concludes our video. I hope you found this short and simple guide helpful. If you did, I kindly ask you hit the like button. Also,
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can further learn how to improve your business. If you find yourself too busy to do the work yourself, I can help. Just click on the link. Thanks for watching.